Eiji Aonuma comes out, plays Tears of the Kingdom for about 10 minutes or so. And we see a couple different things. Everybody, pretty much if you're landing on this channel, you already have the gist of what happened. We saw some new features of the game, gameplay mechanics, exclusively gameplay mechanics, nothing else. And we saw a new product, the Tears of the Kingdom Limited Edition Switch. So let's take a step back here. This is going to be the greatest game ever made, bar none. It's going to be the greatest product ever made, bar none. It's going to sell the most copies of any system ever known in the history of humankind, bar none. Now, of course, I'm being facetious here. Nintendo has kind of cornered themselves here. And at risk of saying too many negative words here, which I think is hurting some of my viewership potential, I'm going to wrap these things with some more positive notes for a change, right? Maybe they'll be genuine, maybe they won't. So we have an interesting scenario here in 2023. Tears of the Kingdom, this long-awaited, well, everything is long-awaited now. Let's be real. Everything is long-awaited. Everything is much anticipated, highly anticipated. We give awards out for these things, right? I think it might have already won the most anticipated award. It's already an award winner, and it's not even out yet. Now, it's nothing really new at all, but it just kind of, it's this circular kind of shape that these things are taking now. And it is isolating some of the fan base, not necessarily the player base. The demographics for Legend of Zelda video games are select. They're not all-inclusive. These are not designed for everyone. These are concepts that are plainly obvious, but kind of don't really come into question a lot, especially with other YouTube content. It's all like, hey, this is the greatest thing ever, and here's why you should buy it, and here's my top 10 reasons you need to buy it, and maybe top 10 reasons I don't like it, but I'm still in a roundabout way telling you to buy it. So that stuff ends here. And I think we need to call into question what actually is going on. Sure, this could be jumping the gun here, and we could be kind of getting ahead of ourselves and maybe being a little too judgmental based on this 10-minute demo of gameplay mechanics. Again, exclusively gameplay mechanics. We see Link doing cool stuff. That's it. He goes through a wall. He can kind of manipulate time a little bit. We've already seen time manipulation and, recall. You could rewind. Okay, well, we've done that, right? Other games in the Zelda franchise have kind of become the quintessential time mastery mechanic games. Majora's Mask. So what exactly is going on here? Why is this such a big deal? And why is it interesting that Aonuma comes out and does this? So I have touched on this in prior episodes, installments, videos, and commentaries that Aonuma has been a really interesting figure in the Zelda franchise, and his role, particularly around concepts regarding to Majora's Mask and different really off-the-wall, out-of-left-field, unexpected approaches to Zelda titles are, some of the most creative and extreme things I think that I've ever seen from a Nintendo kind of Zelda franchise perspective. So the fact that he is there demoing this game, for me, is the positive. And I want to really hit on that here because I'm going to say some negative things. But the most positive thing, overwhelmingly positive, and this is a net positive, is the fact that Aonuma is, maybe I'm butchering his name, Aonuma, I don't know. But he is the one that is out in the forefront playing this game. And to me, that signifies a couple things, and it's kind of symbolic of ownership. If you're out there demoing this thing and it's your brainchild, your brain trust and your project, you're the one out there. He's doing it. He's getting ahead of it. Anything that comes next, we can look back at him specifically, so he's kind of putting his neck on the line. These are like symbolic kind of gestures, and without going through an entire, plethora of details, one of the things Aonuma that I covered in a prior video that he was really a heavy proponent of was kind of getting aliens involved in the Zelda franchise, and almost got an alien invasion mothership kind of scenario to be the route that Breath of the Wild would have taken. It ultimately didn't go that way, but it was something that was pushed for, and my understanding, and I could be wrong, but Aonuma was behind a lot of that. So that is a huge consideration, and we shouldn't get all lost in the mire of, well, we saw Link sticking a stick to a stone and making a weapon. That's great, okay? This is the negative part. We don't really care so much. I mean, if you were to cater to a specific audience, and maybe you narrowed down, you did a lot of analytics, and you said, all right, what's player base? What are they interested in? What is the age, 14 to 18 demographic, or the age 12 to, whatever these age demographic, and where do they live, and what do they like to do, and how much do they watch Twitch, and what do the Twitch streamers do, and how much revenue do they generate, and how many views do they generate, and what's their engagement like? I really hope that is not what's driving some of these choices. I'm sure it is to an extent, but I hope it's not kind of trumping the creativity. My understanding is maybe some of the off-the-wall routine. It was almost routine to be off the wall for Nintendo for a while, especially around the GameCube and the Wii era. Are we transitioning out of that now, and now we're kind of more formalized, like, hey, we have an ace here, let's just kind of keep it flowing? That would hurt creativity, but like I said, great. We see Link running around. He affixes a stick or fuses a stick to a stone, and we see, he modifies weapons, and he could build things, like modifies a ship, like a raft essentially, and turns it into a hovercraft, and there's all these different mechanics, right? So we have a lot of people commenting and saying, well, all right, that's great, but that doesn't do anything for the game, and who cares? And, to a degree, I'm one of them as well. I think Nintendo in this instance may have been better served had they said, well, here's an interesting thing about the story, and then kind of slowly drip feed elements of what's going to happen in the game. The actual game, the plot, the character development, the different scenarios, right? Mechanics are the gameplay mechanics. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why you would focus on that instead of a slow, really a drip feed kind of teaser, kind of, make it a little mysterious, of course, and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see that they went with a purely gameplay mechanic demo and then had the creativity master in Aonuma driving it. Very strange. It's a very stark contrast. I don't imagine he was sitting there too excited to talk about putting a stone on a stick. I don't think that was very exciting for him. I think there may have been other things demoed and they got lost on the cutting room floor. That would be my guess. I think a lot of these things were already recorded. They were probably recorded some time ago, and maybe it was decided, this is highly speculative here, and I acknowledge that, but it's possible that they were just not going to tell anybody anything about the story, maybe due to leak sensitivities or other things. So, again, it is what it is. We're going to get what we get. There's nothing really too much more to say about it, but I would just like to highlight that there could be a huge potential here that's hiding behind this tech mechanics demonstration and could be actually a huge creative leap for the game. I haven't seen any hints of it. They've been very good at hiding them if they are there, but we could see something, totally off the wall and crazy. Maybe not Majora's Mask crazy, but something really off the wall, which would actually put Aonuma in a really good position to be sitting out there in front of it, confident, saying, yes, this is my creative brainchild, and I'm showing it to the world, and So when all of this feedback comes in, I am out in front of it. I am getting recognition for it, and any criticism comes to me because it's mine. It's my ideas. I'm leading the project. So these are really exciting things. I don't know if we're going to see, alien technology type stuff, but we kind of already do. These Sheikah slates and ancients and all this stuff. I mean, it's like as close to talking about aliens, right? Because that's the new buzzword craze right now is, disclosure, right? Quote unquote disclosure. I have some different thoughts about that, but could they be dipping into that knowledge base and kind of driving this disclosure narrative forward by drip feeding us some really weird alien scenarios? I mean, nobody knows yet, but Aonuma does suggest things like this in the past. So if past is any indication of the future, which, not all the time, but sometimes it is. So anyway, that's my pure speculation here. Some of you have commented that, it's all pure speculation, but yeah, that's kind of what we do here. So a different kind of take where I'm not actually recommending, go out and buy this and it's going to be the greatest thing. It's just, kind of an open forum. So until next time, this is Retro Renovo. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.